Listen to me, and listen real good. If you're still opening your conversations with, "Hi, how are you?" you might as well hand him a bottle of warm tap water and tell him, "Here, this is me." Because that's how exciting it sounds. Every man you've ever talked to, every man you've ever looked at, has heard that exact same phrase more times than he's heard his own name. It's the safe line. It's the polite line. It's the, "I don't want to make a mistake" line. But you know what? It's not memorable. You got to understand, men get used to patterns. We get conditioned. It's like when you go to a coffee shop every morning. You know what's coming. "Hey, how are you? Would you like the usual? Have a great day." Nothing wrong with it. But after a while, you could run the whole conversation on autopilot without even thinking. And that's the problem. When your words are predictable, they go in one ear and out the other. You're just another voice in the static. See, predictable doesn't spark emotion. Predictable doesn't make his eyebrows go up. Predictable doesn't make his heart skip a beat. If you want to get in a man's head and stay there, you have to catch him off guard in the best way possible. You have to be the plot twist in his day. Now, here's the thing about men's, we remember the moments that interrupt our normal. If his normal is hearing, how are you?" from every person who walks into his life, and you come in with something different, something that makes him laugh, makes him curious, makes him wonder, you've already separated yourself from the crowd. That's called breaking the script. And when you break the script, you're no longer background noise. You become the highlight. Let me give you a real life example. Imagine he's checking his phone, scrolling through messages, and there's a pile of "hey" and "hi, how are you?" and "what's up?" all blending together. Then he sees your message, and instead of that same tired greeting, it says, "Guess what I just saw?" or "Don't move, I've got something for you." Boom. Instant attention. You didn't just step into his inbox. You kicked the door down wearing confidence like a crown. Breaking the script doesn't mean you have to be outrageous. It doesn't mean you have to start with something that sounds like a movie trailer. It means you have to sound like you. The bold, playful, confident version of you that isn't afraid to stand out. Men can smell hesitation a mile away, and they can smell authenticity even farther. And authenticity mixed with surprise, that's dynamite. Here's what's real. The first words out of your mouth set the tone for everything that follows. If you open with something bland, you've set a bland tone. If you open with something unique, you've set an unforgettable tone. Men respond to energy, and your opening words carry the energy you're bringing to the table. And don't get it twisted. It's not about trying to impress him by being different for the sake of it. It's about being genuine and intentional. If you naturally have a playful side, lead with it. If you're a little mysterious, lean into that. If you've got quick wit, let it shine. The goal isn't to throw glitter in his face. It's to give him something that makes him think, "Man, I need to know more about her." Predictability is comfortable, but it's not magnetic. The moment you open with a predictable line, you blend into the wallpaper of his life. And if you blend in, you're forgettable. The man you want. He's not going to lose sleep over someone he barely remembers. But if you come in and you're bold enough, break that safe little routine, you create a moment. and moments stick. So the next time you're tempted to type, "Hi, how are you?" or "Hey," or "What's up?" stop yourself. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what can I say right now that will make him stop scrolling, stop thinking about anything else, and pay attention to me? That's the question you need to live by. That's the difference between being another conversation and being the conversation. At the end of the day, it comes down to this: predictable gets you polite replies. Unforgettable gets you interest. And interest is the seed that grows into attraction, connection, and commitment. So stop being predictable. Break the script. Be the highlight of his day, not just a footnote. Because when you do that, you don't just get his attention, you earn his curiosity. And that sweetheart is where the magic begins. If you want, I can now expand Keynote Fight 2. Trigger his curiosity in the same 700-word Steve Harvey style so they flow like a speech series. That would make them hit even harder together. Let me tell you something. The fastest way to lose a man's attention is to give him everything up front. You hand him the whole story in the first sentence, and he's already done with the ending before you even hit the middle. Men are like anybody else when it comes to conversation. If they already know exactly where you're going, they mentally pack their bags and leave before you're finished. But when you make a man wonder, when you get him to lean in instead of leaning back, that's when you've got him. That's when his mind is yours for the taking. Curiosity is a powerful thing because it messes with the brain. It's like a song that starts playing and you have to stick around just to hear the chorus. You can't help it. We're wired that way. So when you're talking to a man you like, you have to think like a storyteller. You give enough to spark his interest, but not so much that you put out the flame. You give him just a peek, just enough for his mind to start filling in the blanks. And trust me, once he starts imagining, you're already halfway in his heart. Now, here's the problem most people have. They confuse sharing with dumping. They think if they tell him everything, he'll like them more. No, that's like showing him every scene of the movie in the trailer. By the time he buys the ticket, he's already seen the whole thing. Curiosity keeps him invested because it makes him work for the rest of the story. And when a man feels like he's working for something, he values it more. Think about this. If you walk up to him or send him a message and say, "We need to talk," that's too heavy. That makes him lean back. His brain starts going, "Oh, here comes drama." But if you say, "Okay, you're not ready for what I'm about to tell you," now you've flipped it. Now he's wondering, what's she talking about? Am I ready? What's happening? He's already hooked before you even get to the punchline. You can trigger curiosity in so many ways, with humor, with mystery, with a little bit of teasing. Let's say you text him. Don't open this message in front of anyone. He's opening that thing faster than he's ever opened a message in his life. Or you say, "I just saw something that made me think of you, but I'm not sure if you can handle it." Now his brain's running 100 miles an hour, trying to figure it out. Here's the beauty of curiosity. It puts him in a position where he's chasing you for the next piece of information. And that, my friend, is where you want to be. Because when he's chasing, he's engaged. When he's engaged, he's invested. And when he's invested, that's when bonds start to form. You got to remember, curiosity isn't just about words. It's about delivery. The way you pause before you say something. The way you smile like you know something he doesn't. The way you drop a line and then let silence do the work. Men notice those little things. They might not be able to explain why they're suddenly leaning forward in their chair, but their brain's saying, don't miss this. Pay attention. Here's where a lot of women mess it up. They try to trigger curiosity with mind games. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you should make him jealous, ignore him for days, or play with his emotions. That's manipulation. And it might get you a reaction, but it won't get you the right reaction. What I'm talking about is playful intrigue, the kind that's rooted in genuine connection and fun. The kind that says, I want to share with you, but I'm going to make you lean in for it. And let me tell you, a man who leans in is a man who remembers. He remembers how you made him feel in that moment of suspense. He remembers that little spark of curiosity that got his heart racing. And he's going to keep coming back for more because we are creatures of habit when it comes to pleasure. If you make a man feel excited and intrigued every time you talk, you're creating a habit in his mind. That habit is called thinking about you. So the next time you're about to open your mouth or send that message, ask yourself, will this make him lean in or will it make him lean back? Because if he leans back, he's disengaging. If he leans in, you've got his mind, his eyes, and his attention. And attention, baby, is the first step to attraction. Attraction is the first step to connection. And connection, that's where forever starts. Trigger his curiosity. Make him want to know more. Because the truth is, you don't need to tell him everything to win his heart. You just need to make him want to hear everything from you. If you want, I can now expand Keynote Fanny 3, make him feel special. Not surveyed in the same 700. Word Steve Harvey style, so all three connect perfectly as a complete motivational talk. Let me break it down for you. There's a huge difference between getting to know a man and making him feel like you're conducting an interview. Too many women think they're building connection when really they're just running through a checklist of getting to know you. Questions like they're hiring for a job. What do you do? Where are you from? What's your favorite color? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Honey, that's not romance. That's a survey. And you know what people do with surveys. They answer them politely, and then they move on with their day. Now, if your goal is to stand out, to be unforgettable, to have him thinking about you long after the conversation is over, you can't just collect data. You've got to create moments. You've got to make him feel like you're seeing him, not just his answers. Men, just like women, want to feel special. We want to feel like you're not just talking to us because we happen to be in front of you, but because something about us actually matters to you. See, when you make a man feel like the only man in the room, you're tapping into something powerful. You're speaking directly to his ego, his emotions, and his desire for significance. Every guy out there has had a conversation where he could tell the woman wasn't really present. She was looking around the room, checking her phone, or just going through the motions. And when that happens, he knows he's not special to her. You can't fake real focus. When you're locked in, when your eyes and your energy are right there with him, That's when you get his full attention in return. Here's what it looks like in action. Instead of rattling off a question like, "So, what do you do?" which every man has answered 1,000 times, you listen to what he's already told you and dig into that. If he says, "I've been busy with work," don't just nod and move on. You say, "What's been keeping you so busy?" You sound like you've got some big stuff going on. That's not just a question, that's interest. That tells him you're listening. And when a man feels truly listened to, he opens up. Another part of making him feel special is using what I call personalized attention. This is when you notice the little things about him that other people overlook. Maybe it's the way he talks about his passions. Maybe it's the way his face changes when he's telling a funny story. Maybe it's something as small as remembering how he takes his coffee. Those details are gold because they tell him you're not just there, you're paying attention. Now, let's be clear. Making him feel special doesn't mean worshiping the ground he walks on or losing your own self-worth in the process. It means showing him that you value him as a person, not just as a potential boyfriend, husband, or arm candy. Men can tell when you're just running through the motions to see if they qualify for your time. And when they feel like they're being evaluated instead of appreciated, they start holding back. Think about it this way. Nobody enjoys being around someone who's just looking for reasons to check boxes. That's pressure. But everybody loves being around someone who makes them feel seen and appreciated for exactly who they are in that moment. When you create that feeling, you're building a connection that goes beyond small talk. You're giving him a reason to look forward to the next conversation, and the next one, and the next one after that. One of the most effective ways to make a man feel like the only man in the room is to bring genuine enthusiasm into your interactions. I'm not saying fake excitement. I'm saying if he shares something with you, respond like it matters to you. If he tells you about a project he's been working on, don't just say, "Cool." Ask him questions, laugh at the funny parts, show some curiosity about the details. This is where you stop being just another conversation and start being the one he remembers. And here's the beauty of it. When a man feels that kind of special attention from you, he'll naturally start giving it back. He'll be more interested in what you have to say. He'll start asking more questions, paying closer attention, remembering the little things you mention. That's how connection works. It's a mirror. You give it, you get it. At the end of the day, making him feel special is about presence, attention, and authenticity. It's about treating him like he's not just a name in your phone or a face across the table, but someone worth investing your energy into in that moment. When you can do that, you're not just having a conversation, you're creating a memory. And memories are what keep people coming back. So put the checklist away. Stop running the survey. Look him in the eye, listen with your full attention, and speak to him like he's the most interesting man you've ever met. Because in that moment to you, he should be. And when he feels that, that's when you stop being just another woman in his life and start becoming the one he can't stop thinking about. If you want, I can now stitch all 3 expanded keynotes into a single flowing Steve Harvey style speech so it sounds like one powerful, uninterrupted talk. That would make it hit like a real stage performance.